vibe to this. Let's groove to this. Flow with this. Ride to this. Let's vibe with this. Let's flow with this. Let's groove to this. Vibe to this. Flow.
All right, good evening. If you are hearing our voice, it must be the 8 o'clock hour, and you are listening to Iris Moments, a weekly discussion of books by authors of color depicting Black love. Why? Because for some strange reason, people out there do not believe that Black love really exists. And we are here to discuss some of the stories that made us fall in love with Black romance, and to say that Black love does indeed exist, because we are here as proof that Black love exists. I say that not because we assumed that our parents was in love when they had us. No, that's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is that we have experienced Black love in our own lives. And we're here to tell you that it does indeed exist. My name is Iris Bolling, and I am joined by my sisters in crime, in books, and in my heart. Miss Midnight Ace. Say hello, Midnight Ace.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
And we also have Miss Prissy Parker. Say hello, Miss Prissy.
Good evening, loyal book lovers.
Okay.
Welcome back.
So tonight, we are discussing an author who I think has touched all of our lives somewhere along the 120 some books that she has written. She has touched our lives somewhere along the way. And with this particular family, this is friends of the Madrias family, right?
The Matter's family. Well, you
Yeah,
said
but
Madaris. Now
Madaris.
here,
Right.
y'all gonna have a different way to say. I say Madaris.
Of it, yeah.
I say I don't know what I say. I say whatever comes to mind at the time. But you know, I asked her, I was talking with her the other day, and I asked her, I said, is it Madaris or Madrias? I think she says Madaris.
Yeah, that's what
I think she said it's Madaris.
Madaris.
But anyway, we fell in love with Sir Drake and Ashton long before they got their own books, because they had been involved in so many other Madaris stories that was out there, especially Dex, Corinthus, and Trevor. Oh, I love that story, but that's not what we're here to discuss. We are here to discuss The Midnight Hour by Brenda Jackson. And if you don't know anything else about The Midnight Hour by Brenda Jackson, thank you, Midnight, for showing it. The Midnight Hour by Brenda Jackson has this pool table scene. I'm just going to leave that right there.
Yes, honey.
I'm just going to leave it right there.
It's your best shot.
Go find out about that pool table scene. Let me say that.
What's that song, Shoot Me With Your Love?
They were shooting with something. Anyway, so we're going to discuss The Midnight Hour by Brenda Jackson. And tonight, our host for The Midnight Hour is going to be Miss Prissy Parker. So Miss Prissy, would you give us the synopsis? Really?
In one moment, please.
Of course you would do that to me. Of course we gave her the platform because she said that we ignored her the last time, and we did not let her have a platform. So tonight we're giving her a platform, and she's all choked up. So we do it.
All choked up.
All choked up.
I'm so touched. Except you ladies believe in me so much.
Oh,
that I can do this. Thank you.
Drake and Ashton will do that to you.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Let me put this on mute. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Let's go.
Recording. Okay. Sexy, dangerous, unforgettable. The Madaris family and their unlikely band of friends captured readers' hearts and souls. Now, in the midnight hour, best-selling author Brenda Jackson brings us another breathtaking novel featuring the Medeiros family and friends. I'm almost there, y'all. One CIA agent, Sir Drake Warren, gave his heart to a woman, a fellow Marine whose death in an explosion left him aching for justice. Drake vowed he would never love.
Solomon Cross.
That's it.
Solomon Cross. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yes, at the wrong time, but when it pop in your head, you got to get it out.
It did. It popped in there.
Understand.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Drake vowed he would never love again, but his devotion to his former lover is tested when he meets his mysterious new partner. Agent Victoria Green, with golden brown eyes and skin like melted chocolate. Victoria leaves Drake yearning for the love he lost and flirting closely with the white hot passion he once knew. He's sure he'll get burned. What was that? Oh, okay. Few people know that Victoria was once a Marine named Sandy Carroll, and that she was embroiled in a fervent love affair with Drake until an explosion. Excuse me, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Until an explosion. Where am I?
Nearly killed her.
Yes.
Life-saving surgery gave her a new face and identity that a CIA operative, Victoria Green. Now, Victoria is bound by duty to keep the true identity a secret, especially from Drake. Paired on a daily mission, Victoria's senses are awakened by Drake's every move. But just as the passion she denied for so long threatens to boil over, Drake begins to pull together the pieces of the puzzle. And when he does, will Victoria lose him forever? Woo! Sexy, dangerous, and unforgettable. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, Miss Prissy, are you ready to resume your duties?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Don't be messing up this story.
I'm trying not to, but this crazy weather got my asthma acting crazy too.
Okay.
I don't understand it, but something is going on between us, damn it.
Okay, take a...
I don't smoke. What's that? What she mean by take a... Oh, my pump, Lord, lady.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Start
I don't
Miss
understand it.
Prissy because I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Okay. So we all on the same page now?
I don't understand it, but something is going on between us, and damn it, I don't like it. He whispered harshly.
Okay, got it. I don't like it. He whispered hoarsely as the ferocity of his emotions began shattering his ironclad control. I feel like I met you before, but I know that's not possible. There's something about you that reminds me of someone that He breaks off. Before he could finish what he was about to say, Tori placed her arms around his neck and brought his mouth down to hers. Silencing his words, she knew that she shouldn't, but for just this one time, she wanted to taste him again.
We knew it would be no one time.
Once is never enough, honey.
Mm-mm.
Yes. And okay, one time she wanted to know what it felt like to be making love with him. The heat of his body caused a slow timeout.
The heat of his body caused a slow sizzle to radiate up her spine, and a searing of desire ran rampant through her when she remembered how making love with him used to be, and how it felt when he would lower her to the bed and ease his hot body into hers. At this moment, she wanted to take what she could get and have her memories to add to all the others. Her mind turned to full concentration on his kiss and was lulled into a state of total awareness of him. Her senses came fully alive under the intense onslaught of his mouth as her body trembled from the pleasure he was giving her. She arched shamelessly against him and heard the animal growl that emitted from deep within his throat. She wanted to pretend that time meant nothing and there hadn't been 5 years that had invaded their lives, keeping them apart. She knew at the moment she loved him with a ferociousness that had not faded. If anything, knowing about him, with him not knowing about her, only increased the amount of love and desire she felt for him. Slowly, he broke off their kiss, pulled back, and looked deeply into her eyes. She fought the urge to tell him the truth, to let him know who she was, but knew that as long as Solomon Cross lived, Drake could never know. She forgot the tears she was holding back and prayed that he didn't see them. She couldn't let him know what this moment meant to her, the beauty of them being together again this way, something she never thought would be possible. That was just a taste, he said, almost in a growl. I want more, Tori. More, I say, more.
How did I know she was going to pick this one? I knew she was going to pick this one.
Because that's Miss Prissy. That's how her mind is. We knew she was going to go here.
Look.
And this is also when she got pregnant.
Yes, it is.
It is. It's
and
when
that's why I picked that part.
Pregnant. Yeah. Okay. Now, the first thing I want to say is, y'all know this is my kind of story. People died, people got blown up. Oh my gosh. I enjoyed it. I enjoy rereading this again. People got shot, people got kidnapped. You know, it's just a whole lot going on in this story, but it all flowed. You know, it all flowed. So I really, really did enjoy being able to revisit Sir Drake and that pool table. But but anyway, Miss Prissy, you feeling better? We got to check on you, make sure you're okay.
Yes, I think the pump is kicking in.
Mm-hmm. That's what happened when your husband underneath the desk. But anyway, now let's talk about who did you like the most? Because I don't think there's any way you could not like either one of Tori or Drake. So which one did you?
I agree.
I mean, I love both of them. I truly.
Yeah, I have to say between Tori and Drake, it was a tie. So they were a couple unit.
You can't like one without the other.
Yes.
And you knew they loved the strong because once she went to talk to him while he was in that hospital, thinking about giving up, once he heard that voice, he started coming back too, you know. And that's when I thought, I felt, I'm sorry, that's what one of my questions was. Did you ladies think that when she was introduced to him as Tori, that he would remember that voice and know who
No,
she
because remember they said that she had all of that surgery on her voice too. So that part of it not. But when he entered her that first time, on that ship, wherever they were at, to me, that's when he should have known something. Because you can change the outside of a person,
you can't change the inside.
You can't change that inside.
It something affected him at that moment. And he even said to himself when he was talking about it, he said even the scent was the same. And so that did spiral him a little bit out of control, which also probably set him on course to go and try to find her.
Yes, I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say about these two is when they worked together, they worked in tandem with each other. It was like they knew exactly how to feed off of each other. And that's why I couldn't understand why Drake didn't know something.
He felt it.
Was up.
They both did when they was on that first mission.
Yeah, but I think they had to focus on the mission and that, because remember when she walked in that coffee shop before they got introduced to one another?
Right.
He already, so he was feeling something at that moment.
That's true.
And I would say it's something to be said for somebody who loved as hard as they did and was taken away and then, brought back. So, everybody doesn't get a chance at love. But yes, I would venture to say that too, Miss Prissy, soulmates. That was a true example of.
Do you guys think Hawk was wrong in not letting Drake know?
In the beginning I did, but then I understood it was for her safety, for their safety, because you know how Drake felt about getting back at
Solomon Cross.
Right, because
Solomon Cross was determined. He wanted Drake to live. He wanted Drake to live, but he wanted him to be miserable because he felt like he was miserable. And to tell you the truth, I don't see how Solomon Cross could be miserable about losing anybody, because he was taking lives left and right.
Yeah. And he actually, the woman that he was in love with, he actually took her father's life and told her that he was
father's life. Exactly.
Yeah. He was a very unstable person.
Yes, he was something, that's for sure.
And I kind of almost felt like if the government didn't kill him, I felt like the drug lords was going to get him, because they were in with him,
because they were through with him. Really, they had told him he had to wait. Remember, they said he had to wait another year in order to come out in the open and everything. And he went back on them.
He did.
They only kept him alive because of his father. But that last card was out the deck at that point when he did what he did to have to go into hiding. They were pretty much done with him.
They were pretty much done with him at that point. So, ladies, I always wonder why Drake, and we touched on it a little bit, but why Drake did not have a sense that Tori was Sandy. Because like I said, the outside you can change, but when you feel especially for them to be so in love with each other the way that they were. So when he entered her that first time, and the way that she did the same things with her body that Tori did, I didn't quite understand why it's somewhere in there he didn't get a really good sense that this was Tori.
Well, I would have to say though, like look at what happened after Tori died, right? So he kind of went on all of these suicide missions. Yeah. I would even say, and I'm pretty sure people thought he was nuts. They thought he had lost it. So and even he probably thought he was unstable as well. But then when you have something like that, then you have that kind of experience, you don't want to be going around telling people that I think this is Sandy. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because you you looking at her, she's not Sandy. So, you know, he had to let that play in his mind. But look at his reaction when she told him, you know, that she was who she was.
Happy. Mm-hmm.
No, he was not at all.
Well,
But
that's because, but listen, but look at the reason we should have been unhappy, because all this time he done made love to this woman and everything, and she didn't tell him who she was, and he had suffered. That man has suffered. Listen, I feel the Drake on this one. He has suffered.
I did too. I
did too.
Yeah, but I mean,
she knew. You know, she knew, and she didn't tell him.
But part of that was not, well, all of that wasn't her fault, because she was acting, she was given specific orders.
She was.
True.
So, but
after
when
Paul told her that she should tell him.
Right. She still hesitated.
But she wasn't sure if he was still, you know, with the missions and everything. You know, she wasn't sure how he would react in some sense as far as his
Yeah, but you know, the other part is he said, let me know if you're pregnant, and she said she would.
Mm-hmm.
But then too, like, so she was getting ready, but before he even found her, she had already made up in her mind that she was going to be a single parent and she wasn't going to tell.
That's true.
And her reasoning is that she had witnessed him doing these suicide missions, so she just figured he would continue to do it. And I get that, but you do not get a chance to.
But he was doing the suicide missions because he thought he had lost her.
Right, or he had nothing to live for.
Right.
You know, but so yeah, I didn't agree with her, and I think that was one of my questions, was like, how did you guys feel about her making the decision to keep the pregnancy from him? I don't think that was right.
I don't think that was right.
Understood it, you know. Like you said, he was taking on suicide missions, and she didn't think that by telling him she was pregnant that would change him that it would make him stop.
Well, so I kind of, in my head, I kind of think a little bit different from that. I figured like he was doing those suicide missions because he had nothing to live for. But I think like if he had that child, if he knew he had a child, I think he would have reconsidered everything he was doing.
Right.
But we do have to remember though, their relationship wasn't built on a normal foundation because of the fact of the Solomon Cross. Solomon Cross was not going to let them have no easy road.
Right, no happily ever after. Mm-hmm.
But what do I always say in these books? When you know better, you do better.
That's true. That's true. But I also think that if he had known that she was carrying his child, or that even forget the baby aspect of it, if he had known that she was Tory, you know, all of that would have ended.
Yeah.
All of that would have ended. I'm not even sure. And once he found out, you know, if it was baby, I'm not even sure he would have did any more missions.
I don't think so. Well, he didn't.
He didn't.
Once he found out, he didn't. You know, he had his Sandy, his Tory backing. Now he was going to be a father. So
but you know, when they came to the cabin, and then Ashton and Trevor was there.
Right.
I just felt like, you know, it was so easy for her to come clean with Ashton and then not so quick for Drake. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Because at that point,
Ashton had that sense, you know, he was Indian, so he already had that sense of who she was, you know.
But I'm surprised Ashton didn't pick up on it when she was at the hospital, though.
He did.
He picked up on something, but when he left, he left
time to, you know, but he did pick up on it. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he had dreams. Remember, he had the visions too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
Okay. So, Miss Prissy, what's your question?
That was one of them. We just discussed it. Do you feel Ashton felt Tori was Sandy?
I don't think right away. I think given time he would have figured it out, but I think he knew something was suspicious. But I don't think he quite put his finger that she was Sandy, because
I think from that, when she came to the hospital as the other doctor, because remember he said he didn't recall a doctor by that name, and he had been there from the beginning, so he knew all the doctors, who all the doctors were.
But she handled that. She said,
Yeah.
Dr. So-and-so had to step out on an emergency, so I'm just checking his stats.
Right.
So she
and I
handled.
think at that point, he had, like you said, he had a sense, but he wasn't sure.
right.
And then once they met again at that cabin, and he had those visions, he knew.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't going to say nothing until she said something. But he gave her that look like, I know who you are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so she came. I don't know. I just felt like at that point when you had already made it, when Hawk was telling him that you have to telling Ashton was just like telling Drake.
Right.
Because he wasn't going to keep it from him. Mm-hmm.
Right. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Midnight, what's one of your questions?
So here's another one of my questions. Do you think it was no? What was your feeling of Drake's reaction to the news? Because we talked about this one too, of Sandy being Tory. He kind of went off the deep end.
He did, and then what even made it worse, he was getting ready to take that animal shot to protect her from Solomon's men. So he had all of that going on, and finding out, I understood it. I was kind of torn. I understood both of their reasons, and I was kind of torn.
But
I was upset that she didn't tell
that Tori was. I mean, she was following orders from Hawk, but then when Hawk said, "You need to tell him," she should have told him.
Yeah, I think she would have been better off telling him while he was driving.
Right.
Oh, about the driving part, but as soon as but I like you said, I think she should have told him, especially when Hawk had given her the directive to it's time to tell him. Right. But and I do understand why she didn't do it, but in her mind, I just think when the baby came into the situation, that wasn't her decision to make. She should have told him who,
she should have told him. She should have told him.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what kind of mission he did, because even if he was gonna still take that shot regardless. He was still gonna go out on missions, but maybe he would not have been so reckless when he went out. Mm-hmm. But he always came back in one piece.
Yeah, but he still took unnecessary chances when he was out there. But I'm not gonna say he had a death threat, but I think he had a death threat.
Yeah,
he wanted to be with Tori.
You mean a death wish, not a death threat.
Wish. Thank you, Miss Prissy, for correcting me.
But
after I saved you, and
everything. Saving me.
I think he should have. I think that him and Tori should have had a conversation. She should have pulled him to the side and said, "Hey, this last mission almost killed you. Don't you think? Whatever. I don't know. If we could be a family or something like that, would you, slow down or something like that? I don't know. It was just so many things that she could have did besides just keeping it from."
Yeah, the one thing I do know is that even if she would have told him, as long as Solomon Cross was out there, he wasn't going to stop until he got her.
And that's true. He was not going to allow Drake to have a moment's peace. He was not going to do it. So
that was Cross's. Did you think that Drake knew that was what was in Solomon's mind?
Yes.
Yes, I do. I do.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Okay.
Too.
I do.
I kind of felt like Drake felt like that Solomon was after him, not Tori or Sandy. I think he just felt like he was just after him because he felt like he killed his wife.
No, he was after
No,
Tori.
he wanted Drake. He wanted Drake's life to be
suffer.
miserable.
Yes, any woman, if it wasn't Sandy or Tori, you know, after that point, he wanted Drake to suffer, like she said. And if whatever woman he would have been with, he would have, if he found out, he would have been trying to kill her just to make him suffer all over again.
Right. I think that he knew that Solomon's mission in life at that point was to make Drake miserable. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So my next question that I have for you ladies is, who did you think when the first call was made, who did you think was Red Hunter?
Tom Crosby.
You thought all along?
I did too. I knew it wasn't the secretary, and I knew it wasn't, what's his name, Casey.
Mm-hmm.
As much of a butthole Casey was, I did not think it was him, you know, for whatever reason. So I always thought it was Tom Crosby.
So since you mentioned Casey, Iris, did you think Casey was on the good side or the bad side at the beginning?
I think Casey was a man that was high in power. He had to prove himself or establish himself as being the man, the big man, and he had big shoes to fulfill.
Mm-hmm.
He had big shoes to fulfill. He had Hawks.
Yeah, because Hawk was the man.
Hawk was the man, you know.
And he still came out being the man.
Right, and he had to prove himself. That's what I thought. That's what I thought about Casey from the very beginning of the story. I felt like this is a man that's stepping in, and he has to prove himself, especially with these type of agents. These are not FBI agents or anything like that. These are operatives. And these people, you know, you have to establish yourself and you have to earn their respect.
And trust.
You know, you have to earn their respect. And he didn't know how to go about it. So I never thought that he was working with Solomon Cross or anything like that. I do think he was a true patriot, you know, but I didn't think he was working with the other team. But the Tom guy, yeah.
What about you, Mint? What did you think of Casey?
But I thought Casey, like, I did think he was he was out for self-sacrificing, and I thought that he would do anything to make sure that he shined, like using his operatives as sacrificial lambs in order for him to crack a big case that nobody else could crack.
Right. That's what made me think that he might have been on the bad guy side, because it was like he didn't really seem to really care of how he, you know, implemented his operatives in certain situations.
Yeah. No, he didn't give off that to me. I didn't like him for the fact that he knew, well, so he didn't really know everything about Tori. So
Tori, give it, Sandy. He didn't know.
I didn't like him for the fact that he felt like it was okay to use them just to you know, crack that case. But I didn't think he was the Red Hunter at all. I didn't
think that, but I think he wanted that notch on his belt.
Yeah.
You know, I think he wanted that notch on his belt to be the one to bring in Solomon Cross. And he knew that there was a target on Drake and Tori's back.
Right.
You know, and he used them.
He used that.
And that he used that in that way. So I do believe that. So, Ms. Percy, what other question do you have?
I think we covered that part too, regarding Ashton knowing or feeling that Tori was Sandy.
Yeah.
Wait, I have one that's kind of funny.
What
would have, okay, so I'm going to ask you guys to put yourselves in Drake's shoes, right? So what would have been your expression when, oh my God, what is her name? The housekeeper was telling him the situation behind the milk. Remember when she said about Tori drinking so much milk, and right, and then she was telling him, well, the last time I was drinking milk or something like that, she had a child or whatever. And can you imagine the look on his face when when she told him that? Like, what would have been you guys' expression if you were Drake?
I would have been like, that's how I would have been like.
That's probably how Drake was. That's probably how he was.
Find out. Let me go find out she's right.
And then the other thing, to piggyback off of that too. So she gives him the heads up on the milk, right?
Right.
So he goes upstairs with the milk. Now these are operatives, right? So
yes.
Please
but
tell
they are not investigators.
Right,
There's
but
a difference between the operative and
they're
the
not common sense people neither.
They're not common sense people. They're used to things being complicated.
Yes.
Okay. I'm like saying, I don't know. First of all, I don't know why he didn't pick up on the milk, because he thought that was weird anyway. And then now all of a sudden you found her prenatal vitamins.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That was funny though, when she told him about that.
Oh Lord!
I was waiting for him to get a clue about the milk.
He missed that. He missed that completely. He missed the milk clue.
He's like,
completely.
What the hell is she talking about?
They did miss that completely. Okay, that was midnight. All right, I got a question for you guys. Do you guys remember who Joshua was?
Yeah.
Do y'all remember? Can y'all figure out why everybody hate Joshua?
I couldn't figure that out for the life of me. I remember
Delgado. What's the last name?
Joshua is Corinthus' brother.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Corinthus' brother. He was also a Republican.
Joshua.
Right.
He was a politician.
Yeah, he was a politician.
And he was an arrogant.
Very arrogant. Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was an arrogant Republican.
Great one.
But if it hadn't been for him pulling some of the strings that he pulled, Sandy would have never made it out of there alive.
Right. But I still don't know why they were so mad at him. I didn't think it was because he was just a different
No, you have to read the Medeiros series, especially Corinthus and Trevor's book.
I have to go
understand why
the series.
Any one of those men could at any point in time kill Joshua and not care one way or another. Because he was Corinthus' brother.
That's what saved him.
That's the only thing that saved him.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, and some of the things that he had been able to do to pull strings to take care of them when certain things needed to be pulled. Right. I thought it was hilarious that he was even in the story.
Yeah, I was like, but I was getting him mixed up with the other Joshua from another author, though. But I remember him being a politician.
Yeah, he was a politician.
Mm-hmm. I remember him being a Republican. That's what I remember. But as I was reading that, I couldn't for the life of me figure out. I said, this can't be the reason why they hate him so much. But I have to go back and read that.
They definitely have a reason to hate him the way that they hate him. Let me put that.
I have to go back.
Let me put that out there. So they definitely have a reason to hate him. But I really thought it was funny that he was in this story with these men who we knew
that wanted to kill his butt.
Wanted to kill his behind.
Yeah, but those were some missions that he was like. He pulled Sandy out of the fire. And then he also helped get Drake back on a stateside when he
right from that mission. Mm-hmm.
So that's true. He was in the story. But how about my Uncle Jake? Ooh, I have always loved Uncle Jake.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody loves Uncle Jake.
Yeah.
Y'all know I have to cast Uncle Drake. And I was thinking about bringing Randy Richwood back as Uncle Drake. I mean, Uncle Jake.
Randy, was that Pops?
No,
no. He was
what was his name in there?
Oh man, I forgot. He was the one that Bobby was getting the coat
Right.
from.
But he had a
That Bobby was getting the.
wait.
Oh, what was his name? I can't think of what his name is, but I'm thinking about bringing him in as Uncle Jake, because Uncle Jake. Remember, the thing about Uncle Jake is Uncle Jake has a banging body.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he had a
Mhm.
banging
He
body.
worked in the ranch, so
And
you know.
even though he was a little
any ranch,
older,
they gonna have a banging body.
yeah, but he would, even though he was older, he also did not. He wasn't bad to look at either.
Mm-mm. He sure wasn't.
So
But he was so smart, and he was such a financial wizard. Oh,
yes,
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 highly
love
intelligent, especially with numbers and business too. He was
yes,
smart.
yes. And remember, he was the one that married Diamond. Remember?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, he
Diamond
was the
Frank.
one who married
They-
Diamond.
Yep, they hid their marriage for almost a year.
Yeah, they did. They did. They had to, really, for them to live their lives. They had to. So that was that. Okay, Miss Prissy, you have any more questions?
No, ma'am.
Miss Midnight Ace, you have any more questions?
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, this was one of those stories. Like I said, it was, we talked about this before. It was hard to come up with specific questions about this because the story was so well woven all
Right.
throughout. It was, even though it was a lot happening, it was so well written, you know, that you understood Tori's feelings, you understood Drake's feelings, you understood even Solomon Cross. You understood, you know, exactly why he was after Drake. Didn't understand his the way that he felt like he had to go after him, but you could feel why, you know, why he did. So this is one of those stories where I think Brenda did a really great job of weaving this story through all the intricacies of what happened. And again, as I said, the thing I love about this story is people died. People was blown up
in this
was
one,
shot. People was
killing
people.
Know, they can't just be in love and live happily ever after.
Yes, we can, and they are happy ever after.
Let them have good sex, climax, and all of that, and then they gotta die. What kind of?
No, those aren't the people who died. The people who died are the ones that's being bad. She didn't kill any good people.
No, so the people are dying around after they having the good sex. They having the good sex and the climax and everything, and then people are dying around.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Like they gotta kill someone after they have
nothing brings on a good climax better than a life and death situation.
Well, yeah.
A life and death situation. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, it's the intensity of the moment,
I guess. So when you get that heated, then you just want to go boom somewhere.
Oh, there was some booming going on there.
There was some booming going on, that's for sure. I mean, they were on the ship. Then it was the pool table. Where else were they?
In the bed.
Pool table. Wasn't they outside under a tree once? Yep.
Yep.
That was before she got blown up.
It was still
even when they went on that first mission when he had to tuck her under him, they both of their bodies and minds was going elsewhere except for when
that time.
but they didn't get caught.
No, they didn't do nothing, but you know, they just that feeling was there that they wanted to, you know.
Yeah, well, I tell you, this was one of those stories where I enjoyed the action. And let me be fair to the listeners out there. I'm not saying that every story somebody has to die.
Yes, she is.
No, I'm not. But I do say that, for example, in Teach Me, nobody died in Teach Me. They got their butt whipped, but nobody died. So I'm not saying that, but I do have to have some I
that
have
was
to have some
for you.
moments of suspense, some moments of drama, some moments of a little danger or something, for me. I don't know why that
That's a
is.
suspense romance. A suspense romance is different from a true romance.
True romance.
Hmm.
Maybe so, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Y'all bringing me around a little bit. Y'all ain't captured me yet, but y'all bring me around a little bit.
We have to get you to open up your mind so that you can have that Black love that will entice your mind.
Yeah.
But my Black love does entice my mind. That's what I'm saying.
It entices everything else too.
That too.
Uh-huh.
That
a
is
grenade,
true.
a bomb, or a explosion,
Or something. Okay, Miss Prissy, why don't you let's hit our playlist. So what do you have on your playlist?
Oh, I got a good one.
Okay.
So for Drake, I have Spell by Blue Magic. Y'all remember that song?
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
was sleeping, thinking
I'm gonna have to play that when I go to bed tonight.
Must have put
Okay, I'm gonna play it when I go to bed tonight, Miss Prissy.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll let you know. And then I have Body and Soul by Anita Baker.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Reunited by Peaches and Herb.
Peaches and Herb. Yeah. Good one. Good pick. Especially that Body and Soul.
Yes.
Because they had each other.
Yes.
Body and Soul. That's for real. Okay, Midnight, what is your playlist for tonight?
Oh, this was so difficult. This one was. But I have Something Keeps Calling by Raphael Sadiq featuring Rob Bacon.
Mm-hmm.
And I Can Feel You All Over by Stephanie.
Yes.
Because remember, saying every time he was near her, she was like feeling all in her legs and
getting weak. But I thought she was going to tell him who she was when they was making love, though, too.
I did think she was going to let it slip.
Mm-hmm. It's me, Drake. It's me.
And then if for Only One Night by Luther Vandross. And
that was what was in her mind. Just that one night.
Well, his too when he came into that cabin.
Initially.
That's true.
And then he was like, they always say just one night or just one time, and then they be like, oh, this ain't not back. That's ain't not
back in love again. LTT.
You just a silly Lord help. Okay. So here's my playlist. Next Breath by Tank. Because when they got to it, they, especially on their ship, they couldn't take another breath without tasting each other. They just could not. They couldn't do it. Emotional Roller Coaster.
Yes.
By Vivian Green. And that's for both of them. Both of them were
on that roller coaster.
Both of them. And Till the End of Time by Timothy Bloom.
Now, I never heard this one.
Oh my gosh, you got watch the video, listen to the song, but also watch the video for this. And it's what it's saying, you're gonna know me until the end of time. You're gonna love me till the end of time.
That one was a good one for this book.
Yes, go check that one out if you haven't checked that one out, because that's a great one. That's a great one. Whew. Lord, The Midnight Hour.
Yeah.
By Brenda Jackson. Well, folks, that is our show for tonight. We hope that you enjoyed listening to our discussion of The Midnight Hour by the one and only Brenda Jackson. Lord, Sir Drake. That's all we can say is Sir Drake. But anyway,
Sir Drake, Ashton, Uncle Jake,
Ashton. What's the other one name?
Trevor.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I thought they had a song called Midnight Hour in the Midnight Hour by Wilson Pickett.
Wilson Pickett, yeah, they have that out there too. Child, what you be thinking about in the midnight hour? Anyway, Ladies, if you would, please let the listeners know where they can find you, Miss Midnight.
I am Midnight Ace Book Bar, and I can be found on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at midnightacebookbar.com. And at Midnight Ace Book Bar, and on my website, midnightacebookbar.com.
Well, thank you so much, Miss Midnight Ace. And Miss Prissy, let the listeners know where they can find you when you're not out here hanging with us.
First, I want to apologize to our listeners and viewers for the disruption that I caused with my coughing. So please excuse me for that.
You are excused. And here's the wonderful thing. You had sisters that was ready to pick up that ball for you and keep it rolling.
Thank you, sisters. And now I can be reached or found on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And you can reach me by email at stylesetters@gmail.com. That's stylesett.et@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you so much. And my name, your host, is Iris Bolling. You can find me at www.irisbolling.net, or you can go out on Facebook. You can find me as Iris Bolling, but also on Facebook, you can find me as Siri Austin, and at the Daily Sexy Facebook page as well. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter as Siri Austin, and you can find me on Goodreads as Iris Bolling. If you're looking for any of my books or any of these other books that we are sharing with you, you can mostly find them on Amazon.com. Or please be sure to check out the author's website, because you may be able to find it there as well. Mm-hmm. This is Iris, Miss Prissy, and Midnight Ace saying thank you all for joining us and allowing us to bring some Black love into your world. Until the next time, remember, there is romance out there that will entice your mind. We're out. Miss Prissy, take us out.
Iris moments.
That was weak. I want you to go get a couple of puffs. Get yourself straight, get it together. And next week, I want you to come back stronger.
Right on.
Good night, folks. That is it. We are out.
Groove to this, flow with this, ride to this. Let's vibe with this. Let's flow with this.